Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to The Box. This is the interior of our 2013 Mitsubishi Fuso FG that I'm slowly building into an overland camper. While I have a lot of little projects going on in here, last time I was working on the next step for the seat boxes, which will then allow me to build the center cabinet, which will become our mini dinette. With the exception of the kitchen cabinets, all of the rest of the interior is made out of T-slot extrusion and 3D printed parts. And since I've just printed a fresh batch, I should have enough to let me get this started. Let's see what I run out of next. Well, since I've spent a lot of time installing all the nut slugs into these parts, my next piece is going to be the cross pieces. So I'm going to have one piece of extrusion that runs from wall to wall, and the second one is just going to bridge the gap across the electrical panel. And of course, before I can install any new pieces of extrusion, I have to put together and install about 500 million of my favorite part, more nut slugs. Ew. Yes, the never-ending part I use over and over through this whole build. The nut slugs were one of the first parts I designed for this interior build, and somewhere along the line they seem to have become tougher to fit into the slot. I'm not quite sure why these nut slugs aren't fitting like they used to, but I'm going to try using a little bit of soap and water to see if they'll slide along the track more easily. I've been storing my extrusion outside, and some of them have a bit of a sticky feel to them. Maybe they have a superfine layer of pollen or other surface contamination making them sticky. It seems to come off when wiped with alcohol, but it's difficult to wipe the insides of the slots. For anyone concerned with the toughness of these printed parts, I've been hammering on this bracket for at least 100 nut slug installs, and it's just taking the beating. Well, the soap does seem to help, but it still takes quite a while to get all these in. I'm not sure if something has changed with my printer that's slightly printing larger than it was before, or maybe the nut slugs that I purchased in the last round were slightly thicker. They do still work, but they're definitely harder to get in place. Now that said, I have 26 installed in this piece, and we've got 6 installed in the top of this piece. And that means I can put those in after I install a whole bunch of the corner brackets on them. The corner brackets are held on with 1/2" ×20 stainless steel button head screws. I'm just fitting them loosely so I can slide them into position once it's in place. With those corner brackets installed on the bottom, the next thing I need to do is set where this piece is going to go. So I've gone 31 inches from here, the front corner of the box, back to where this stop is, which is going to give me a 30-inch seat bench. With the location now defined by these corner brackets, I can use their position to locate these nut slugs that will tie in to the corner brackets to hold this piece in place. You can download any of the 3D printed parts you see me using, so make sure you check the links in the video description. Without a whole lot of work, it would be virtually impossible for me to get every single one of those in exactly the right place. So what I've done is I've kept them all a little bit forward of their final location, and as I move the crossbar into place, I'll just pick and choose the ones that line up and then continue to slide it back until they're all aligned and attached. I probably could have used fewer brackets and bolts here, but it's easier to have too many than to go back later and add more when I find out it's not enough. With all those brackets loosely in place, I can move on to putting the back piece in, which is going to go in with some new custom designed pieces. The back piece is a little bit shorter because it only needs to span this section. Outside in the back there, over here, it's not really going to add any structure. It is going to, however, support the sides of the center cabinet. Now that leaves me with a little bit of a different connection point here. So what I've done is I've designed this piece, and unfortunately backwards for this side, it slips in like this and allows me to put a bolt here and then a bolt down into the top of the other piece of extrusion. This piece will also be one of the mounting points for our inverter, which is going here, keeping it nice and close to the main power distribution blocks, which are here. If you're enjoying this video and you want to help support the creation of content like this, here's a couple of really simple things you can do. Number 1, hit like. That lets YouTube know that not only did you watch the video, but you liked it too. Number 2, share the video. The more people that YouTube sees viewing this video, the more people that YouTube will push this video out to, thus increasing viewers and better supporting the channel. Number 3, watch the video all the way to the end. This increases watch time and helps the algorithm send more people to the videos. None of those methods will cost you a dime. However, if you do want to send dimes my direction, you can scan this QR code or follow the link in the video description. Speaking of video description, make sure you click the More button so you see everything that I've posted there, including links to all the useful products that I use on this channel. Now let's get back inside and continue on with the build. Now that those two are in place, it's time for, well, more nut slug assembly. Oh, I'll be happy when I don't have to make any more of these. If you listen carefully, you can actually hear them snickering at me. I had a thought while editing the video, and I wonder if I've actually been printing an older version of the nut slug, not the actual final version. That would explain why something seems to have changed. I'll have to take a look and see. And with that round of nut slugs in, I've taken the short ends and installed the corner pieces, and now I can assemble the shorts and longs to make the upper end of the back of the seat bench. I'm not sure why, but every piece I put in trying to assemble this simple rectangle was fighting me. Nothing lined up properly. It just seemed like every nut slug was out by just enough to not let the bolt grab it, and every time I tried to pick something up, I was using the opposite hand to what I should have been. Eventually it did all come together, but it should have been much simpler than it was. Well, that was a headache and a half, but now that that's assembled, I can install the supports on it so that I can put it in place. Which means more nut slugs. In case you haven't noticed, I go through a lot of these, and I mean a lot. I just hope that you're not dozing off while watching, but if you are, well, I can't say I blame you. Putting in nut slugs is about the most boring part of this build. But let me give you a little nugget of useful information here. If you're one of the folks who picked up one of these AUTEL scanners to be able to scan your Fuso, there's good news. If you haven't connected it to the network recently, there is an update that has a whole bunch more features added to Fuso. So if you haven't got one of these, go check out the video, and if you have got one of these, go check out the update. With the nut slugs in all of the legs, now I can start installing the corner gussets to hold the legs to the top platform, and then the entire assembly can go back there to make the back half of the seat. And now for the most exciting news of this part of the build. I get to do it all again. That's right, remember that what you are watching is only half of the story because I still have to build the other side. That said, lucky for you, I'll spare you the repeat episode, so you don't need to fear coming back next week and seeing the same nut-slugging thing, just mirrored the other way around. Well, this sure feels like the slowest part of this slow build so far, but let's make some progress and make the back of a seat bench. Now, the outside corner back here is slightly different from the others. These three are brackets that will bolt down. This one just slips over the corner. Not quite sure why I decided to do it like that, but I did. All right, roughly in place. A quick zip on a few bolts and the structure starts to gain some strength. And now we have a bench seat with a storage back. Clearly there's a lot more to do here. We probably want some cushions and boards to hold things in place, but you kind of get the idea of how this is going to be laid out. I was really hoping that I'd be able to start building the center storage cabinet today, but as it is, I have come down to my last corner gusset, which means this is the winner for what am I going to run out of first. Definitely was not these. If you're keeping any kind of count, I've gone through about 60 nut slugs today, as well as about 30 corner brackets, and though my printer is currently churning out more, it just can't keep up with how quickly I use them. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, leave us a thumbs up. Make sure you check the video description. Most importantly, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.